My wife demanded a divorce and informed my attorney that she wanted the entire estate except for our daughter. I turned to my lawyer and calmly stated, "Let her take it all." The entire courtroom fell into dead silence. Everyone assumed I had cracked under pressure or simply given up. But hold on before you form an opinion. Let me share what I discovered on her phone at 2 a.m. one night. My name is Daniel. At 54, I earn my living as a building inspector. My job involves stepping into buildings that appear sturdy on the surface, only to uncover the hidden decay beneath new coats of paint. Fractured bases, moisture creeping behind panels, faulty wiring destined to ignite disasters years later. You train yourself to detect the early warnings, the subtle clues that signal trouble long before total failure strikes. I never imagined applying those same skills to scrutinize my own marriage. Melissa and I had shared 22 years together. Our daughter, Lily, now 16, possessed intelligence that surpassed both of us. For the majority of those years, life felt steady, or so I believed. Melissa held a part-time position at a dental practice, managed our household, and fulfilled the role of mother. We weren't wealthy, but we maintained stability. Roughly 10 months earlier, she announced her desire to launch a venture, home staging, where she would assist sellers in enhancing properties to attract buyers. She claimed a natural talent for aesthetics and yearned for an independent pursuit. I backed her fully. I assisted with forming the LLC, co-signed the business credit line, and allowed her to draw from our shared savings for startup supplies. I viewed it as a positive outlet for her. Little did I realize what that support truly enabled. The initial warning signs surfaced on a Wednesday evening. I stirred awake around 2 a.m. to faint sounds downstairs. Assuming Lily might be restless, I went to investigate but found Melissa in the kitchen, her phone's glow illuminating her face. She wore a smile I hadn't witnessed in ages. Spotting me, she hastily turned the device face down. I inquired if all was well. She claimed a difficult client messaging at odd hours. I accepted it and returned to bed, yet unease lingered. The following morning, her phone rested on the counter while she showered. I'm not proud of my actions, but curiosity won. The chat thread remained visible. Phrases like "the fresh spot is nearly set" and "you're incredible" appeared. Then one line hit hard: "Can't wait to shed the burden holding me back." I refrained from confrontation. No shouting, no accusations. I replaced the phone, brewed coffee, and headed to my job. From inspecting structures, I knew rushing to demolish reveals nothing. You observe, record, assess the extent of the issue. Over subsequent weeks, patterns emerged. Minor at first. A cherished blanket from my mother vanished, followed by a living room lamp and a dining chair. Melissa explained they were loaned for staging projects and would return soon, but they never did. Larger pieces followed: our coffee table, the hallway bookshelf. One Saturday, returning from a commercial inspection, I discovered the couch missing, replaced by a plain beige sectional that screamed bargain bin origin. Lily entered behind me, paused, and remarked with weary sarcasm, "Guess the old couch just gave up." Melissa descended the stairs, phone in hand, insisting it was only temporary. The real one was at a job site, and this served as a stand-in. Lily muttered, "Right, Mom, sure," and retreated upstairs. Seeing my daughter's expression confirmed she saw through the excuse too. Our home increasingly resembled a staged display rather than a lived-in space. Still, I stayed silent and observant. 2 weeks later, Lily approached my home office with her laptop, visibly anxious. She showed me listings on an online marketplace. Melissa had posted our possessions for sale under an alias, Jennifer Callahan, but the background photos captured our distinctive walls and flooring. The blanket, lamp, table, all advertised as lightly used at suspiciously low prices. Lily questioned if I knew. I admitted ignorance. She wondered whether to confront her mother. I advised, leave it to me. I captured screenshots, organized a dedicated folder, and began logging details. This went beyond staging. It constituted systematic disposal. She dismantled our household gradually while concealing it. The deeper blow arrived via mail. A notice from Lily's 529 college savings plan indicated an $8,000 withdrawal. I contacted the provider instantly. They confirmed authorization by joint holder Melissa Bowen, executed 3 weeks prior. I ended the call and stared blankly ahead. That account had been sacred. Contributions began at Lily's birth, earmarked solely for her education. That evening, when Melissa returned, I mentioned the statement evenly. She showed no surprise, claiming business necessity, insisting the funds belonged to us jointly and she'd repay them. I pointed out it was designated for Lily. She dismissed it. Kids manage with loans, and I overreacted. I nodded without debate. But inwardly, clarity dawned. She wasn't growing a company. She was engineering her departure, indifferent to the fallout. From that point, I compiled evidence meticulously. Every payment, receipt, vanished item. Spreadsheets tracked outflows. Photos documented empty spots with dates. I noted a recurring charge on our shared card. A storage unit in an industrial zone, $180 monthly. I added it to the dossier silently, sensing its significance. 20 years of building inspections taught me the gravest flaws hide subtly. Gradual leaks, microscopic foundation fissures expanding yearly. Catastrophe arrives only when ignored too long. Melissa operated identically, methodical, disguised as routine until irreversible. Her error, underestimating my attention to minutiae. Have you ever overlooked minor red flags in a partnership, hoping they'd fade? For the following 6 weeks, I treated my life like a critical site evaluation. My office filing system became meticulous. Highlighted statements, circled charges, time-stamped images. One spreadsheet monitored storage payments, another dissected illogical business outflows. Melissa assumed my late nights involved permits and reports, unaware I constructed an airtight record. The storage unit nagged at me most. Why lease external space when our garage sat nearly vacant? One Saturday, I drove by older facility, weathered fence, units untouched by paint in decades. I stayed outside. Confirmation sufficed. I needed objective verification. I contacted Victor, my high school friend turned CPA. We reviewed materials privately at his home. After examining pages, he concluded, either poor management or concealed funds, likely both. He highlighted inconsistencies, inflows without corresponding legitimate outflows, mismatched revenue. The venture appeared unprofitable yet spent lavishly. Then Victor delivered the key insight. Ownership includes burdens too. If she claims all assets in divorce, she inherits every liability, tax issue, penalty. I absorbed it fully. 3 weeks later, Melissa presented divorce papers casually over Sunday breakfast, Lily still asleep upstairs. Her sister Rachel attended like a consultant. Melissa listed demands: house, both vehicles, full business control, half my pension. She added, Lily stays with you, I lack bandwidth for a teen right now. Rachel concurred as if sensible. I sipped coffee without reaction. A sound from the hall interrupted, Lily in pajamas having overheard. She stared at her mother. Impressive show of affection, Mom. Melissa called her dramatic. Lily retreated silently, door closing firmly. In that instant, my priority shifted from possessions to shielding my daughter from dismissal. I met Melissa's gaze. Fine, take it. Rachel beamed. Melissa appeared puzzled, no resistance expected. She verified seriousness. I confirmed my attorney would prepare documents. I excused myself for work. That day, I leased a modest 2-bedroom apartment elsewhere. Lily deserved calm surroundings. I met Henry Braddock, my reliable lawyer from prior matters, and presented the full evidence. Marketplace posts, 529 records, storage details, Victor's analysis. Henry called it invaluable but advised restraint. We grant her requests but bind her to consequences. The proposal, house to her. Requiring refinance in her name within 90 days. Failure triggered sale. $8,000 college offset repaid promptly. Business fully hers, including all obligations, debts, vendor claims, tax exposures. Henry crafted it transparently, with 214 pages of disclosures and appendices CF, financials, transactions, everything incorporated. He noted most skimmed signatures without scrutinizing attachments. Melissa attempted maneuvers, emergency filing alleging asset waste, a non-existent boat. Anonymous tip to my employer about bribes dismissed swiftly. Rachel's insistent visit demanding Lily access, recorded on doorbell cam. Henry collected it as potential backup. Mediation occurred in early June. Melissa arrived with aggressive attorney Sophia Holt and Rachel coaching from behind. Sophia skimmed superficially. Henry remained composed. Terms recited: house, cars, business to Melissa, pension mine, custody with me, college offset. Rachel whispered about pension value. Melissa focused on tangible gains. Sophia directed initials and signature. Melissa signed blindly. Henry noted exhibits incorporated. All acknowledged review. Mediation concluded. Henry whispered afterward. She grasped nothing of the buried details. Judge Miller would detail them soon. I ask you, when someone insists on claiming everything in divorce, what do they truly seek? Not merely assets, but every attached responsibility, hidden error, debt. Melissa craved dominance. She received full accountability. Would you have yielded similarly or battled to retain your share? On June 14th morning, I rose early, restless. Coffee in hand, I watched dawn. Lily joined, ready. She sensed my calm resolve. At court, Henry waited composed. Lily opted for hallway wait. Judge Miller, seasoned and direct, confirmed mutual acceptance of mediated terms. Both affirmed. Henry noted exhibits CF incorporated, 214 pages disclosed. Judge queried Sophia on review with client. Silence. Judge pressed, yes or no. Sophia admitted partial review only. Judge Miller's tone sharpened. She confirmed mediator notes and signed acknowledgement. No explanations allowed. She opened binders reciting. Exhibit C $47,000 vendor debts on business. D. Storage penalties, violations $6,000. E. Creditor demands. F. Income discrepancies suggesting unreported earnings, potential IRS scrutiny. Rachel's grin vanished. Melissa paled. Sophia scrambled. Judge addressed Melissa. Sole business ownership meant sole liability for debts, taxes, obligations. Understood. Melissa turned to Sophia. You assured me it was clear. Judge halted excuses. Failure to read disclosed materials offered no appeal basis. Malpractice belonged to her counsel. Rachel interrupted from gallery. Judge silenced her sharply. Melissa glared at me. You knew everything. I replied evenly. Full disclosure in appendices. She acknowledged receipt. She demanded sole control and received it. Henry affirmed legality of records. Judge finalized. Agreement entered as presented. 90-day refinance deadline firm. College offset due in 30 days. Business liabilities hers alone. Gavel fell. Dissolution complete. Melissa remained seated, stunned. Rachel fled. Sophia departed coldly. Henry assured follow-up on refinance if necessary. Lily waited outside. I shared completion. She inquired about her mother's outcome. Tough, but college funds secured. She embraced me fiercely. You're incredible. In following months, events unfolded precisely as projected. Melissa failed refinance, credit ruined, income insufficient. House sold under duress, proceeds eroded by mortgage, liens, taxes, fees. Little remained. Storage unit faced inspection over violations. Lease canceled, penalties applied. Creditors claimed inventory. Business imploded rapidly. IRS notices arrived demanding records, audit looming over mismatched deposits. She relocated with Rachel, tension erupted quickly, lasting barely a month. Lily and I settled into our apartment. She earned honor roll 3.6 GPA. New traditions formed, Saturday films, Sunday pancakes. She carried renewed ease. One evening she asked if I regretted her mother's plight. I reflected, sorrow for the necessity but no remorse in safeguarding her future or enforcing accountability for deliberate actions. Lily agreed, neither did she. My takeaway, occasionally, the wisest response is allowing someone precisely what they demanded, particularly when convinced of superiority. Melissa insisted on total possession. She acquired it and it overwhelmed her. Structures aren't solely physical. They're constructed from decisions. Some erect enduring bases, others conceal flaws, expecting escape unnoticed. Yet every edifice faces evaluation eventually. Truth emerges. Melissa believed me oblivious, too passive, too occupied. Incorrect. I observed every detail, patiently awaiting her self-inflicted collapse. My profession's lesson: superficial cover over decay changes nothing. It merely transfers the problem when collapse arrives. Melissa sought ownership of everything. Now she bears every consequence. Today, I share a modest apartment with my daughter, enjoying Sunday pancakes, witnessing her flourish. That's the only foundation worth protecting. What are your thoughts on this experience? Share below.